Welcome to Sports Bet Daily. Radek, this is Alex. Radek,
Hi.
YouTube. If you haven't seen Radek's channel, this is Radek. I've seen him. He is not only just a Bundesliga tips expert. He's a sports betting expert like ourselves or like Alex, and he has a YouTube channel called XBet Tips. It's in German, but he is going to be speaking English for us for the purpose because we don't speak German. But welcome to the show, Radek. How are you?
Thanks, I'm fine. And if you let me talk, I will thank you to having me here. It's a pleasure and an honor to speak in English with you. So I'm not so fast in talking in English, but I try to understand and I try to give some, good tips, I hope so. So nice to meet you both.
It doesn't matter how fast you are or how slow you are. If we are giving good tips, you are here for a reason, you know. That's why we have you here. It's a pleasure to meet you and an honor to have you on our show.
Yes, here. So everybody meet Radek. Okay, so we've just finished obviously Serie A and La Liga, now looking at some Bundesliga futures, giving maybe a predictions of a top 2, top 4 finish. Now, obviously, Bundesliga giants Bayern Munich were almost beaten by Dortmund. Do you think, Radek, that we could be looking at a new champion for the Bundesliga season?
Of course, everyone hopes so, but I don't think so. Everyone is talking about that Bayern needs some players, but if you have just a look at the value of the players they have, there are about 10 players from Bayern Munich among the 20 most valuable players in the whole Bundesliga. So I think they have a lot experience. They have winner players, go-to guys, and that's the point why Dortmund didn't manage to be champion last season. And they made some good transfers, but I don't think they are strong enough to beat Bayern, because Bayern will buy some player definitely until August the 31st, when the window closes. So they will improve and they won't be as weak as last season. And if Dortmund can't do it last season, they cannot do it the next season. But as a football fan, everyone, including me, hopes that's it, not the 8th title in a row for Bayern.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, obviously, you're just going to Borussia Dortmund, and like Radek said, if they didn't do it last season, and they were so close, it was just 2 points. If they didn't do it last season, it's unlikely that they'll do it this season. Do you agree?
Well, listen, they were very busy in the transfer market this summer. Dortmund, Torgan Hazard from Mönchengladbach, Julian Brandt from Leverkusen, Nico Schulz from Hoffenheim, Mats Hummels from Bayern Munich. With the money that they sold Christian Pulisic, Pulisic was not getting so many minutes last year. So that is very, very important. I think that keeping Alcacer right now, one of the best strikers in Europe, in my opinion, if he will avoid injuries. It's very important for Paco Alcacer to avoid injuries and score a lot of goals for Dortmund. I think that we should expect another entertaining season in Bundesliga, and I hope that it all comes down to the last 1-2 matches, because this is why we love Bundesliga, and I think that Bundesliga is the most entertaining league, in my opinion, from the top 5 leagues in Europe. They have everything. They have goals. They have a lot of young players from academies every single season. I'm I love the fact that they are avoiding to spend big money every year, like Premier League and La Liga are doing. I think that this is very interesting. They have the tickets, the tickets, the price of their tickets from their stadium are lower than the other leagues in comparison in the top 5 leagues. They have a lot of beer, they have a lot of goals. This is why we love Bundesliga.
When was your last trip to a German stadium?
Last year.
Yeah, really? Which one?
I don't know. I don't remember. I've been to many. But why? The price changed?
No, not the price, but if you want to visit a game of Bayern Munich, you have to pay a lot of money on the black market, or you have to be lucky, because the games are all sold out 1 year before, and the beer is not very tastable in the stadium. So out of a plastic cup, I prefer to drink out of bottles, and so it's
this
not
is why I love Dortmund.
the style.
This is why I love Dortmund.
Okay.
What, the Dortmund beer?
Yeah, but Dortmund isn't really famous for
the
beer.
Dortmund as a team, as a religion, as everything connected with Dortmund, just simply is absolutely amazing for football.
Yeah. Well, I was at a German festival actually yesterday, eating German food and drinking German beer. Not that has much to do with this show, but I thought I would just let you know. So back to, we're looking at, so Bayern Munich obviously number 1, Borussia Dortmund number 2. Radek, do you think, would you put Dortmund as number 2 behind Bayern Munich again? No, Leipzig.
No, you don't have to be an expert to say Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund are going to be champion, or I don't have to be a genius to say Bayern Munich is going to be champion. But I really don't bet on futures. But if I would consider, why not take Leipzig, because they are a really high potential team, and they have, in my opinion, the best manager on the side. And if Julian Nagelsmann can make a big impact like he did in Hoffenheim, as when he came to Hoffenheim 3 years ago, Hoffenheim was about 15th or 16th. He took the team and made them to a Champions League team, and now he gets to Leipzig, where he has a team which is on 3rd position, who has a lot of young talents and the power to beat the big 2 in games with a lot of luck, maybe. And I think Nagelsmann can develop Leipzig to a really, really serious opponent for Bayern Munich, and of course for Dortmund. But if it's in the first season, I'm not really sure, but I'm really want to see them playing under Nagelsmann, because they had the best defense last year, and Nagelsmann is a power coach, and so they will play a bit more offense, and they have the players for that if they were not traded before the transfer window closes. So I just wanted to throw in something what is not connected with Bayern and Dortmund, and I think you can keep an eye on Leipzig as well.
Yeah, Leipzig obviously without Bayern Munich, so they're priced 6.5, with Dortmund priced 1.73, so definitely some value on that. But I tell you, to finish top 4, you've got Leipzig at 1.72. Now, obviously, it's a very long wait to get your money back.
I buy it right now.
But
with €1,000.
Right, exactly.
Definitely.
But they had a struggle though. They had a struggle during the mid-season Leipzig, and then they came back and ended up.
Yeah, they had a very weak preseason or first round. How do you call it? The first 17 games, they were not as good as they could be, and I think it was a year between, because they lost a very good coach with Hasenhüttl, and Rangnick was not coach anymore and came back to coach them for 1 year until Nagelsmann takes over. So he did a very good job at the end. They were in the cup finals against Bayern Munich, lost with 3-0, but I think they did a great job. And at the end, they were in the EuroLeague and the Champions League and had a lot of experience for the players. And if you have a look at the team, there are a lot of players with a value above 20 or 30 millions. So Paulsen and Forsberg, Werner, and a really, really offensive, good team. And I said it, the best defense team last year.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Schalke, obviously, Alex, finished 14th last season, a lot lower than they finished the season before. Have they done enough at the moment to sort of build themselves back up where they can at least be a top 10 team?
No, still no. I want to see more from Schalke. Still not decided what position, where they will be next year in the first half, in the second half. But interesting point with RB Leipzig. I just wanted to say that they're approaching $500 million total market value with their players. And you remember last season when we were saying that Julian Nagelsmann was Hoffenheim's manager, but he already signed with RB Leipzig for this season, and they were playing each other, and they were saying, what now? How he will do? How he will see this match? How he will approach it? But right now, Radek is on. I loved his approach with RB Leipzig. I think that Nagelsmann is great with the youngsters, and RB Leipzig have a lot of them with huge potential that might explode this season. I don't think that they will finish the season in top 2, but yes, the price for them to finish in top 4 is huge. Another great team, another great set of odds for a top 4 finish is Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen, who managed to keep Kai Havertz, who reaffirmed his commitment to Bayer Leverkusen ahead of this season. So they kept a huge talented player. They signed Daily Sinkgraven from Ajax, Moussa Diaby from Paris Saint-Germain, Kerem Demirbay from Hoffenheim, a player that I loved last season. I think that easily they can finish in top 4. Yes, they lost their star player Julian Brandt there, but I think that they still have a lot of potential there.
Okay. Radek, one of the teams that we, apart from, when you said that sort of the first 17 games with RB Leipzig, the season before we made a lot of money with our betting for RB Leipzig to win, and then obviously when we realized that they were back to their winning ways, we all jumped on. We call it the Leipzig train, and when we're on it, we make money from them. And so obviously we spoke before we filmed, and you said that you had a look at some of these opening matches. Now RB Leipzig traveled to Union Berlin for the opening round. They're priced 1.94. So listings.
I already placed a bet on it.
Right.
But I'm not very confident about it because I really like Union Berlin, and I think they made some very interesting transfers with Gentner and Subotic, who was twice champion with Dortmund 2011 and 12. And another one I'm not by heart now. So I think Union Berlin is they can make the relegation and stay in the league.
Okay.
With some luck, but on the first game, you have to know the stadium of them, and the fans, they are insane. So they will make it very, very hard for every team who comes there to take the points, and Leipzig as well. But as I am confident with Leipzig is playing a good role this season, I think a price of 1.8 in the first game against a new team in the league should be a good value. But I'm not really 100% behind that. I think there are some better games on the first game day, as Alex mentioned, that Bayer Leverkusen should be very strong. I think that they have another new team at home with Paderborn, and I think there is about 1.7 that they make it with a Asian handicap of -1 or something like that. So I really would prefer this bet on Bayer Leverkusen on the first game day, because they are at home, and the coach Peter Bosch is a coach who loves to score goals with his teams, and Paderborn is the by far weakest team in the league. They have I think 25 million value of the whole team. Even Kai Havertz has about 90 or 100, but I'm not sure if he really will stay at Leverkusen. Maybe someone wants to put the money on the table, and he leaves Leverkusen as well.
He just declared last week that he will fully focus on Leverkusen this season, and he wants to stay for one more season in Bundesliga and perform well. And maybe also the value on him will raise. They will maybe ask after that 120 millions. You never know. So 1.44 for Leverkusen to beat Paderborn in the first round is great for an Aka bet there, or a treble bet combined with two more games. But we will talk about the first round.
I know, I'm getting excited. I'm like, let's start. I know. No, I'm so excited.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the top scorers market.
Okay.
I wanted to hear also Radek's opinion, because I really think that if Kai Havertz will stay, if Paco Alcácer will not get injured, the value is on them. Yes, I understand Lewandowski is by far the Bundesliga top striker in the previous season. He won the Golden Boot in 3 of the previous 4 seasons, and some years ago also with Dortmund. But Paco Alcácer won the record for the most goals scored by a player coming from the bench. 12 goals. Very talented, lethal in front of the net. I think that if he will avoid injuries, I think he might score at least 25 goals this season. So he's priced at 15, and Kai Havertz is priced at 41. I think that the value is on them right now, because Lewandowski is priced at around 3.5, so not so good value on him. What do you say, Radek?
All odds are very attractive in my opinion, especially Lewandowski, because Bayern has only one striker at the moment, and Lewandowski is not a player who's injured a lot, and he always scores his 20 or even 30 goals if he has the right assists from Gnabry and Coman on the wings, and from maybe Goretzka supporting behind him. And so for sure you can sign him with 20 goals. I'm not a big fan of Alcácer, I must confess, because he is, what you said, he's a classical joker. When he was in the starting team, he didn't score that much. I don't have a stat about that, but I'm pretty sure if he scored 12 after he came into the team I think he has 6 or 7 when he was in the starting team, and there are a lot of other players in Dortmund who can also score with Reus and Götze, and they bought Hazard, not the Eden one, the Torgan, who made 10 goals in Gladbach last season. So I think Dortmund, if they score about 80 goals, there will be 5 to 6 or 7 players. Like last season, they had about 20 scorers in their team, and that's the strength of Dortmund, because everyone can score and everyone will score, but not only one player like Lewandowski will collect all the goals. So the odds on Alcázar are definitely worth a try for small money. Harvard's the same thing. 41 is ridiculous, but at the end, you don't get a prize if they are not the best ones. And in this case, I'm not very, very,
I think
how
that
do you say it?
Gladbach were very, very unlucky not to finish in Champions League last year. They, after a absolutely incredible first half to their season, after that I don't know what happened there, but I think that Torgan Hazard left exactly when he should leave, and he went to a better side, and this is a way to go outside the country, outside Germany, at top teams in Premier League, or follow his brother in La Liga maybe. But I think that small stakes on so high odds worth a try, because you never know at the end of the season, maybe Kai will have more goals than Lewandowski, and you cash out your bet at very good odds,
Yeah. Guys, we are going to have to wrap up. I am getting signals that the show, Sportsbet Daily Hour, has gone over. We are 11 minutes over. I could talk for more, but it's just a little taste of the pre-season. We will be back in a week or two. Actually, no, 2 weeks, because I'm going on vacation. But so we will be back, and we will look at the first week. I am super excited. But I really wanted you guys to meet Radek, and obviously for us to have a preview of the Bundesliga futures as well. Quickly, Radek, people are asking, what is your team, your Bundesliga team? Do you have one?
I really don't have any. I'm not. I always say I'm not a fan because I'm a sports journalist. I have to be neutral, but maybe you can hear it in my accent. I'm from Bavaria, so I grow up, and my father is even leading a Bayern Munich fan club. So I don't have the choice really. But if Bayern is not be champion, I'm totally fine with it, because I like football, and I like if it's very, as Alex said, high class football in the Bundesliga, and it's better if Bayern not dominates everything.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to kill it this season. I can feel it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And of course, to our new guest, Radek, ex-bet tips. Go check out his channel. It's in German. People were asking, when are you going to do an English version? Well, he's going to come on here. He's going to speak. He's going to give his tips in English. Do you have any plans for an English channel?
I already did it, because my most favorite league is NHL, and I did some NHL videos in English last year with predictions about special bets. I call it Faxe-Bookie in Germany. It's a beer called Faxe, and yeah.
We just say beat the bookie, but it has the same meaning, I suppose. But yes, beat the bookie, fuck the bookie. We're trying to do both. All right, wonderful stuff, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. We've got Premier League futures, Champions League futures, and Europa League futures. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Radek, Alex, and I will see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have
Natalie.
a great night.
Thank you, Alex.